In the 1980s, we were children at Spencer Elementary School on the west side of Chicago, trusting our school to keep us safe. But our fifth grade teacher, David Siers, identified us, groomed us, and abused us by offering trips, rewards, and special attention that hid his dark intentions. For 16 years, from 1970 to 1986, David Siers preyed on boys in his class, leaving lifelong scars of post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and shattered dreams. Everything changed in 1986 when a classmate of mine, a former student, overwhelmed by the trauma, attempted suicide. His brave disclosure exposed Siers' crimes to the Chicago Police Department. This triggered an investigation and the convening of a Cook County grand jury. But here's the heartbreaking betrayal. During that entire 3-month investigation, neither the grand jury, Chicago Police Department, Cook County State's Attorney's Office, nor the Chicago Public School System removed Siers from the classroom. And as a result, Siers molested 13 more boys, and some were drugged by Siers and raped. Why? Bureaucratic inertia, fear of a scandal, and lack of protocols left vulnerable children in harm's way. The grand jury heard testimonies, including from victims like the one who reported Siers invited him to the shower. But the system failed us. Siers was indicted July 1st, 1986, on multiple counts of aggravated sexual abuse. By February 1987, he was convicted for abusing 14 boys and sentenced to just 20 years in prison. The conviction was handled quietly, with minimal publicity to minimize the fallout for the institutions. At the time, former Mayor Richard M. Daley, who was rising in politics, serves as elected Cook County State's Attorney, and his ambitions may have played a role in concealing details and killing any deeper investigation into the victims. But the real cover-up began after. No internal CPS investigation, no outreach to potential victims, no support for the survivors. Shockingly, the Illinois State Board of Education recertified Siers as a teacher on July 1st, 1988. While he was still in prison, DCFS, responsible for child protection, failed to coordinate referrals or enforce protocols. Through Chicago's Police Department and Cook County, through the state's attorney's office, chose silence over action. They not only failed to investigate further to find more unidentified victims, there were potentially up to 150 over Siers' 16-year tenure, but extended no support to the identified boys. No mental health services, no counseling, no help at all. Those boys were left to battle their demons alone, growing into broken men, still fighting trauma to this day that they've carried their entire lives because they didn't get the help they needed when they were young and vulnerable. For 40 years, we carried this pain while these institutions claim no records exist. But in 2025, our Freedom of Information Act requests uncovered the truth: denials, delays, and cover-ups. A recent CPD refusal to release 1986 interview records, only resolved after state intervention, proves they're still hiding evidence. Now, with 3 survivors fighting back with federal and state lawsuits, we've consulted over a dozen attorneys who told us we have a very strong, monumental case. But many don't want to go up against the full combined might of the city of Chicago, Cook County, Chicago Public Schools, Illinois State Board of Education, and the Illinois Department of Child and Family Services. Undeterred, we're filing pro se with over 150 pages of evidence, court records, affidavits, and cover-up proof. We're suing for justice. We're hoping other victims will come forward and join us. We're filing pro se because attorneys shied away from the challenge. But with your help, we can hold CPS, the city, Cook County, the Illinois State Board of Education, Department of Child and Family Services, and David Siers, who's alive and well, accountable. Although Siers cannot be held criminally accountable due to the statute of limitations, those government entities still owe a pound of flesh to all the victims they allowed to suffer back then up until now. This isn't just about us. It's about up to 150 unidentified victims, ensuring no child endures this again. Donate to our GoFundMe to cover court fees and service costs. Every dollar funds our fight for justice. The link is in the description. Share. They knew and did nothing. Together we can end the silence and heal. Thank you.